Good morning, students. Welcome back to my channel, The Unforced English 721. Today, I am going to discuss the same topic, the Passing Away of Bapu, Unit 2. Actually, we have finished Unit 1 previous time, but I forget to make that two units, second unit and third unit. Now it's high time to finish it because your test exam is there. So we have to read the chapter. We get the chance again to read the chapter clearly. Okay, so let's go to read again the chapter. The text, The Passing Away Bapu, is an extract from Nayantara Sehgal's memoirs, Prison and Chocolate Cake. It recounts the incidents following the death of Mahatma Gandhi. So, Unit 2, Gandhiji's funeral was to take place the day after his death. Here, funeral means the burying ceremony or the cremation of the dead bodies. So, Gandhiji's funeral was to take place the day after his death. Hours in advance, people lined the route the funeral procession was to follow. Hours in advance means the people were waiting for hours in advance. And lined means be in line, and route means road. Procession here means the act of moving forward to their destination. So hours in advance, people lined the route the funeral procession was to follow. Means people were waiting in advance for hours. By lining up the route, the funeral procession was to follow that place. Padmasi, Mrs. Naidu's daughter, spoke for us all when she said simply, "We will walk." Padmasi was Mrs. Naidu's daughter, and she was one of the leader from Gandhiji's follower, and she spoke for all the people, for the crowd, for the followers of Gandhiji, because she knew that they are thinking also the same of her, and they all are followers of Gandhiji. They loved Gandhiji. Whatever Gandhiji's view was there, and they all obey that one. So they didn't say anything about Padmasi's decision, because Padmasi's decision also the same decision of the mass, of the crowd, of the followers of Gandhiji. So she spoke for all, for us all, when she said simply, "We will walk." She only said simply, "We will walk." It means it is the last time we shall be walking with Bapu. And then she expressed that "we will walk" means we will walk at the last time. We shall be walking with Bapu means they will walk with Bapu, that is the last time they will walk. They would walk that time. So she decided that they would not take any vehicles for the procession. They only walked, because that is the last time. They walked with Gandhiji several times for the freedom struggle. They went so many places with Gandhiji as his followers, but that was the last time they would walk. So Padmasi decided to walk with Gandhiji's body. It was an agonizing walk. What it is agonizing means? Agonizing means painful. Thousands silently watched the procession. Thousands silently means thousands of people silently. They were spellbound. They didn't have anything to talk. They were totally shocked. They couldn't believe that their leader, their beloved leader, their Bapu, their father, was no more. They were shocked. They didn't have uh, anything to talk. They were totally sorrowful. So they only keep their mouth shut and they were silent. So the line is that the thousands silently watched the procession. They only watched. They couldn't realize, they couldn't believe that Gandhiji was no more, their leader, their Bapu. Bapu lay on an open truck covered with flowers. Bapu's body was lying on an open truck that was not covered because people could see him. So it was open truck and it was covered with flowers. Thousands of people wept. Thousands people were there around his body and they start weeping and they were trying to touch Bapu's feet. They were trying to touch Bapu's feet. Why? That is the last time they could touch him. That is the last time they could see him. It was impossible to move in the thick crowd, but it was too much impossible because people, so much gatherings are there. So it was impossible to move from that place wherever they were standing. As I moved forward slowly, I understood I was not merely in the midst of grieving people. Here, merely means simply, midst means thick crowd, grieving people means sorrowful people. So, Nantra Saigal is telling that I moved forward slowly, means she could move from that place slowly, and she understood that she was not only in the thick crowd of grieving people. This was even more than the funeral procession of India's beloved leader. She is telling that she was not only inside the among the people. She was telling she was not that time in the midst of the grieving people. She is telling that it was even more than that, even more than the funeral procession of whom, of India's beloved leader. I was among people for whom walking with Bapu had a special meaning. And she is also telling that she was among those people to whom walking with Bapu had a special meaning. Because Bapu's thinking is different from others. Bapu was the leader of leaders. And his thinking was exceptional. And walking with him had a special meaning because he loved to walk. We had walked with Bapu over the rough and smooth of India's recent history. A narrator is telling that they had walked with Bapu over the rough and smooth of India's history. Why? Because that time British government ruled our country and they tortured us. They tortured Indians in several ways, and that time India was not free from their rule, and Gandhiji was one of the freedom fighter, and he tried in so many ways to free our country, and the followers of Gandhiji also helped him to work with him over the rough and smooth condition of India's freedom fighting conditions of that time, that political environment. They were the witness, they were the friend or companion of Gandhiji, that rough and smooth path. They worked with him, so they were overwhelmed by the death of Gandhiji. We could not now accept the fact that the man who had led us over many difficult paths was never going to walk with us again. Narrator is telling that they could not accept the fact that the leader, their Bapu, was no more, and that man who had led them over many difficult paths was never going to walk again with them. Bapu's slight figure. Why it is Bapu's slight figure? Because Bapu was slim, and he had walked with a staff in hand. Staff means here walking stick, over a large path of India. He was walking. He loved to walk, and he always walked with a staff in his hand. To walk is to make slow progress. That is Bapu's thinking, that to walk is to make slow progress. When we walk, we can slowly progress. How? It is to think with clarity. Clarity means clear observation. It is to think with clarity and closely look at all that is around you, from small insects to the horizon in the distance. According to Bapu, and he believed that walk means slow progress. Why it's slow progress? Because we are walking, and because it involves clear thinking and understanding of something, it also provides a chance to look at all around, from small insects to the horizon in the distance. Horizon means where sky meets with the earth. Thus, walk helps people to make slow progress. It is to think with clarity and closely look at all that is around you. Gandhi's thinking was that if we worked, we can make slow progress. And there is another reason why Gandhiji loved to work, why Gandhiji told the people, told his followers to work most of the time. Why? Because it requires no vehicles except his own body and cost him nothing. Moreover, to work was often the only way open to the average Indian. Means working is free of cost, and it costs nothing, and it is the only way open to the average Indian. Average Indian couldn't afford the cost of the vehicles. So walking was the only way to progress, and walking was the only way to go anywhere. And Gandhiji loved to work. So according to him, it requires no vehicle except his own body and cost him nothing but his energy. Gandhiji took his necessity as he took much that was commonplace and transformed it into a joyful effort. Gandhiji took this necessity. Gandhiji always take this advantage that walking, and he took much that was commonplace. Commonplace means ordinary place, and transformed it into a joyful effort. Means Gandhiji transformed the walking into a joyful effort. It some people think that the walking is means too much. You have to pay too much effort. You have to use your body. If you have to give so much energy. But Gandhiji transformed it into a joyful effort. When they walked, they enjoyed the path, they enjoyed the journey, and whoever walked with Gandhiji, they also enjoyed the journey. So it's for Gandhiji, it had a different meaning of walking. It gives you energy, more energy, instead of wastage of energy. It gave you information with clarity, and it gave you the thinking, a clear thinking, close observation from small insects to horizon. So it is so much helpful for us and for the poor Indian people that time, because the vehicles was costly to afford all the people. That's why Gandhiji loved to work. That is the second part. Now we can comprehend the exercise. What is that? Number 4, Gandhiji's funeral was to take place one day after his death. Number B, Padmasi was Mrs. Naidu's daughter. And another more thing, the meaning of to work is to make slow progress is we do not achieve things quickly in life. Good things always take time. We know that we have to work hard for it, and we have to put in all the resources and hard work and wait for the success. So if we work, we will reach our destination slowly but surely. That one is the meaning of to work is to make slow progress according to Gandhiji. Okay, number C, we are continuing the exercise number 4C. While walking, Bapu used to carry in his hand a staff. Complete the following sentences with information from the text. Number 5. Number A, thousands of people wept trying to touch Bapu's feet. Number B, the author was among people for whom walking with Bapu had a special meaning. Number C, to walk is to make slow progress. Number 6, fill in the chart with information from the text. Statement is there, you have to find out the reason. Number A, it was impossible to move. Why? The crowd was very thick as thousands of weeping people gathered trying to touch Bapu's feet. Number B, Padmasi declared that they would walk with Gandhiji in the funeral procession. Why? Because the answer will be, it was the last time that they would walk with Gandhiji. Number C, to walk was often the only way open to the average Indian. Answer will be, there was not much means of journey available at that time, and transportation was very costly for average Indian. That's all. We have discussed this line broadly. That's all, students. I hope you understand. I hope it's convincing, and I hope it makes sense. If I'm true, then you have to hit the like button, and it will inspire me to make more and more videos. And in the next video we will meet again for unit 3, and then I will make sea fever also later after this unit 3 of the Passing Away of Bapu. And students, if you have time, why don't you watch the another video? That's all for now. Goodbye.